Hey, good morning, folks. We're going to do some artwork today. We're doing an adventure for Eberron in the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition 2024 rules. We call it Crystals in the Bar. You can see it here. I need to check in on my signal and make sure that I'm coming through clearly first, and then we'll get to work here for a couple hours. Mic check, 1, 2, 3, checking in. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, 1, 2, 3, checking. Yeah, it sounds like we're coming through A-OK. So I'm going to drop that volume down there so it doesn't get in our way. I'm going to grab the link here real fast for us to do some real quick social media posts. Grab that link, drop it into the Sky and the X Twitter, and we'll hit the Discords. Poop. All right, we're ready to go. Clickety, clickety, click. Let's fix our screen. And here we go. You know, if you like artwork, you think D&D's cool, and you find today interesting, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. Here's a bunch of links to other books that we've created. They all are full of my artwork, just like this one is going to be. This one will also be free preview, similar to ones down below, so check it out. And without further ado, we made this book cover on episode 40. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, great. So we're doing lab techs right now, or alchemists. We've got Louis Barber, Elmon. Well, we already finished our Armand the Ton and Juliette Linné. Now we're working on Louis Barber, Elmon Gaperos, Rio Bricas, and Seda de Fear. So, let's do some color. We're going to grab, this is our base color, and we're just going to layer this stuff in. So we're going to bundle this all up as line. And actually, before we get rolling, let's connect those dots. There. And we'll stitch those up, and we'll create a new layer and a new folder that says color. And we'll start by filling all this in. Just a basic lab coat color. Thinking about the ethnicity of the characters. Just gonna block everything in initially. Just to get it set. So we do the line art first, then we do in some block coloring like a comic book, and then once we have that blocked in, we'll merge everything down and then blend the details together. We do this line art, and then we do color. This is how we keep things organized. And then we'll just block this in. I could select the outline of the line art and then invert it and do a block fill so that I only had to do this with a few clicks, but this is how I start learning the piece by running over it and filling the space and tracing the lines manually, both erasing when I'm outside the lines and just drawing up to the lines. This is part of the skills that I acquire as an artist to perform eye-hand coordinated tasks like targeting pixels. You can't get good at it if you don't practice it. System sync, thank you. So I like to do a lot of these menial labor steps manually. Make sure that I'm increasing and improving my skills over time. But for now, we're just filling in lab coats and structuring the format. This is line art for Rio. And then color. Take the line art, let me put it above the color. Go back into the color, block it in. And once we finish the lab coats, we'll jump into our web browser and find some skin tones for various ethnicities. I'm thinking Caucasian, African, and a generic, perhaps Hispanic tones that we use for the skin and hair. Diversity is free in art. And it's a flex to do various types of ethnicity in your humans or characters in general. So I tend to lean into it whenever I can. And if you get comfortable with different types of depicting different types of ethnicity, you can start using those different color palettes to complement your composition design. Like if you have a light back, like if you have a very pale background, you can contrast that background with a darker toned person. If you are familiar with different types of facial construction with different ethnicities, you can play with those presumptions by changing the color palette that's often related to different facial features. Hey, what's going on? Hey, Fox, it's good to see you, my guy. Long left coats and long ears. We're also in Eberron stream. Cheers, my man. It's good to see you. All right, so we've got those blocked in. Let's grab. We're gonna grab Armand's pants here. So wherever pant color is poking out, that's where we're gonna drop some of this in. So, bloop. Let's go look for pant legs, and then we'll go hunting for color palette for skin tones. That's good. This guy, I tell you, man, Rio, he's not going to be doing well in this world. I can tell you that. Some of us were born to die, you know? Rio, you never had a chance. I've got I'm using the YouTube free music streaming right now, and I started using it yesterday. So far, I'm liking it. I've been using Epidemic for the past couple years, but it keeps getting more expensive, of course, the enshittification of everything. So I was starting to look for alternatives, and then YouTube popped up and said, hey, we've got a truckload of free music for you guys if you want. Like, literally just came out of nowhere and said, by the way, did you know? I'm like, no. No, I did not know that. What great timing. So it's like, yeah, here's a stack of hundreds of hours of art that you can, music that is no license required, no attribution is necessary in the description. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And so, I mean, so far it's not the same music, but it's not a worse quality of music, and it's just background noise for me anyway. So, I mean, you know, why not? All right, so we got these guys blocked in. We're gonna jump into our browser here real quick, and we're gonna go look for. Let's look for Hispanic girl chemist. Yeah, something like that is what I'm looking for. Blah! Too close. Too close. Blah! Too close. Too close. Back you down, buddy. Not for you. Yeah. REF. Reference. And we're going to go with Scottish for him. Are there no modern-day Scottish chemists? Has Scotland completely given up on chemistry altogether? No, there's a chick. Let's do something male, white, chemist. Thank you. Look at that Chad. Get out of here. Yeah, you seem sheepish enough. Perfect. And go with Chinese here. Looking good, buddy. Hey, look at that, and he's playing with chemicals. That's perfect. Good job, buddy. Whoa, that ear. That compelling ear. Let's get you in frame. There you go, buddy. Ref. And then Lewis. White, male, chemist. Let's try that again. Well, we'll go here. Copy. Paste. Big head, big fat head. Drop that down. stitch that up. Thank you, Stockart. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you, Stockart. Scientist posing Stockart, royalty free. Brought to you by dreamstime.com. Before long, I don't think I'll probably need to worry about attributing anything to anyone because it'll all be fake. Cheers. There we go. So we've cycled through the second draft of the Bastion Campaigns book. At least all the mechanics. I still have connective tissue like transition statements and examples to provide. But the updated mechanics are I think both simplified and more thorough than the previous iteration. Certainly more so. It's not as detailed, but it's cleaner than the original. So there's the original In Command of Armies, Guilds, and Kingdoms, which we started back in 2022. Put on hold for Spelljammer, and then put on hold again once they announced the Bastion system for 2024. At that point, we divided it up between Guilds and Kingdoms and Squads and Armies. Used the Squads and Armies supplement to then build vehicle mechanics and create Spelljammer. Now the Guilds and Kingdoms portion, we're working on, let's grab this, color, layer, here. Let's grab some flesh while we're talking, shan't we? That's a good generic tone. And so we developed the in-command system to conform with how the Bastion's system works. That was the, I guess that you would say the first draft of Bastion Campaigns directly. And then we just finished the second draft of Bastion Campaigns where we're clarifying different mechanics and distinctions, organizing things, simplifying and unifying different mechanics. And that's been coming along really, really nicely. But we just finished, let's grab here. We just finished our second pass. So we're gonna let that chill for a little bit. And I suspect we're gonna come back and revisit it in December when we start setting up the playtest content for the Storm King's Thunder Spelljammer campaign to test the Mecha Kaiju mechanics that we've been developing. So that's done. So that means on Thursdays and Monday nights from now on, we're going to be switching gears. I'm not 100% on what it is that we're going to do. I think we're going to step back into the Mecha Kaijus and continue developing that. And grab your skin tone there, conceal you. We just finished the Unearthed Arcana Dark Sun subclass conversion into the Color Mana system last Friday. So our Tuesdays and Friday lunch stream for design has also cleared its plate. So I'm thinking to go revisit the Spelljammer subclasses that we had developed today on Tuesday's lunch. Revisit the subclasses since we're since we've done a few UAs and reworked the color mana system variant rules for subclasses. It's been a couple months since we've looked at the Spelljammer subclass options, so we're going to go back and revisit those and see if any new revelations pop out to improve the quality of that list. And then so we'll do that. today, Friday, and it'll probably take a couple weeks for us to go through all those to a new level of satisfaction. And that also, again, since we just finished the bashing campaign, so we're transitioning, I think what we might do is go do a walkthrough of the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration document that we produced, since it was built for 2014 sensibilities. And since it was built for 2014 sensibilities, but we're now using 2024 mechanics on the DMsGuild, I'm going to, I think I'll update that book to match the, like, increase the amount of damage that can be repaired per spell point, for example, or per spell slot expended. Work out the mechanics about the type of actions, like the language of the actions used when words. What's the words I'm trying to use here? Like combat action economy. I think there's a couple subtle changes that need to happen there. And Jesus, that hair. What are you doing to me, dude? So yeah, we're gonna go visit that stuff. I think we'll work on that. Oops, wrong layer, Kearney. There you go, buddy. Now you're on pace. Good. But I might be doing artwork on Mondays and Thursday nights. I'm letting the muse decide what it is that I'm going to do. So I'm getting more and more excited about doing artwork for this project and just completing it in general. So we'll see what the path takes me to. All right, buddy, looking good. You're looking good. Oop, I forgot your hair. Like that. Feels good. Stitch you up. Looking good. And you're the last. So let's grab that skin tone there. So from yesterday, I said last night I would fix the hands and some of the gesturing, which we've done. Oh, that reminds me, we finished the Professor Carter illustration. Hold on, real quick. Let's go visit that real quick, just for reference. So this is where the 6 labs are going to be, and you can see that they're clipped. But Seda, Ryu, Elmon, and Lewis, those 4 need to be replaced with the ones that we're working on right now. But here we finished the Professor Carter piece, and I know there's no titles on the book spines. That was a degree of detail I decided to pass on. But I'm pretty happy with how the wood grain turned out, and the pages, and just the piece in general. I'm happy with how that looks. So it's a little blocked in, so I'm going to mess around with the border, but we still need to spend time resolving background texture. The new frame that we built, I'm pretty happy with that frame for a border, but I want to create texture of some sort that has like a transitioning effect from the upper left-hand corner down to the lower right-hand corner, with things going from natural to unnatural down here. But I've been messing around with composition and design, and I haven't found anything specifically that I like yet. But that's something that we're working on. So we'll find something that feels good. So, I'm sure when the muse is ready to share it with us. I'll grab that. No, I want to go with a highlight so I can see the line art to help sculpt the draping of the hair. So you can either go in general, when you're doing comic book flats, you just pick one color and you just make that the flat, and then you alter highlights and shadows over the flats. Typically, you're going to want to have a mid-tone as like your middle tone that you can then both shade and highlight in 3 separate layers: your base color, your highlights, and your shadows. Base layer, shadows, and highlights in that order. Highlights rest above shadow because shadow is caused when things are overlapping on top of the form. So logically, you'd have the base at the bottom, and then shadow is second above that, and then the highlights are above that. So you have that stacking order of light hitting things. It makes sense, but you got to spell it out. So generally, I'll pick that mid-tone as my base, but when there's not a sharp register of like for example, here we can see, like, here's a mid-tone. This is technically a highlight, and the difference between that highlight and mid-tone is minuscule. And then you've got the shadow, which is which is obviously like close to black. So when you don't have a lot of contrast, just pick your highlight and then shade down into the highlight becomes your base layer, and then you only have 2 layers: highlight, the base quote highlight, and then shade, and then we'll probably make some artificially sharp light highlights. Yeah, but regardless. Reference fade away. And if I wasn't a stickler, I could be done with those, but I added detail here. I'm going to grab that darkish color there, and that there, and there. So obviously I've added more highlighting detail. So let's get after that. So we'll go here and we'll go flesh. And then clothes. Generally, I like a lot of times I like to do the flesh underneath the clothes. I don't know why I didn't do that this time. It just felt right to have the clothes under the flesh. But getting into the clothes, we're looking at where our cast shadows are at. There you go, buddy. Yeah, just smudge it all in. There we go. Yeah, conversation doesn't seem to be here right now. Just doing the job. Yeah, conversation doesn't seem to be probably not good for the stream to be so quiet. But it is what it is. We talk about whatever it is that we're inspired to talk about. And right now I'm inspired to talk about how uninspired I am about talking. But it is what it is. Watch The Institute, which was a Stephen King production on... I think it was on Prime. It was a good ride. It was like maybe 8 episodes or so, maybe 10. It was worth. It was a decent Stephen King story. Probably one of the better ones I've seen in a while. There's some variance in volume in the music that's on the YouTube studio. If anything seems too loud in the background above my own voice, let me know. Actually, I can hear myself a little bit, so I'm gonna drop that down a smidge. Here we go. There. Yeah, so far so good. So what? Hey, what's up? The line's not bad. A little louder than normal, but I can still hear you fine. Good. The music in the background. Let's see if I can tweak that a smidge. How's that? Did that adjust the volume any meaningful sense? And pull that together there. There. I agree. It's a little bit louder. I've got the volume in the. Nailed it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go with flesh and coat. Appreciate you, Fox. Now I'm just gonna blend that all in. So once we we do the flats, we do the line art, then we do the color flats, and then we do lighting, shades and highlights like we're doing right now. And once this is done for both the for all of it, including the flesh and the coat, we'll merge the two. We'll merge all the layers down, so there's just one layer between the line art and all the color. And then we'll do a little bit of detail work, blend the line art into the color a little bit more, so it's a little bit more cohesive, more semi-realistic instead of comic style. These are not difficult compositions, so it doesn't require a stupid amount of labor, like Ader Academy did, for instance. That was a ridiculous project that took a couple weeks to get finished. But that was also like a 10-inch, like a 10 by 8 canvas that we were working on. So it was large and did require a lot of attention to detail. These are little 300 by 300 pixel blocks that are basically little 1-inch tokens, so they don't take hardly any detail in comparison to what like Ader Academy required, or any of the forest environments that we've done. Like that Professor Carter piece, that was 5 inches. That was like a 5 by 5 inch block, so it had significantly more detail available to it than what these need. and then we'll do the baubles and stuff last. Looking good there, buddy. Flash. Code. I might have this finished tonight. We'll get as far as we can today. It's 7:09 here, so I've got another 50 minutes left, ish, before I got to cut from my day job. So we'll see how far we get. And I could see us. I could see us switching gears to different pages altogether after this. Little folds in here, and we want to do all this little detail work now while the layers are separated, because once we bind them together to do detail and integration, it'll be more difficult for us to add in these little marks and details like that. So this is the proper time to be doing this type of work. So I'm a player in a currently sixth level Curse of Strahd campaign, and all of our characters in the party are worshippers of Selûne, and obviously we got pulled into Barovia to do all the Curse of Strahd bullshit. But it's funny because we have a constellation druid. We have a ranger that took Magic Initiate, and we have a divine sorcerer. I'm playing the divine sorcerer, and then we have we have a paladin and we have a bard, and the three of us, though, the druid, the ranger, and the sorcerer, we all have Guiding Bolt, which is a first level cleric spell that does 4d6. It's a targeted spell. It's an attack roll spell that if you hit, does 4d6 radiant damage and gives advantage on the next attack roll. So the big fight that we had this weekend was against 3 revenants. And we're 6th level. Revenants are tough. I forget the CR on Revenants. I didn't look them up during the game, and I forgot to look them up because I didn't know I was going to have this conversation. So they aren't on tap. But hold on real quick. Let's go to D&D Beyond real quick. And Revenant. Revenants are CR 5, 1,800 experience points a pop, and there was 3 of them, so that would have been 5,400 experience points. And I'm going to take a quick tangent here, because now I'm curious what the CR balance on that was. So let's peel open our Martial Powers playtest content. Let's go down here to the tail. Sorry, major tangent, but it's on my mind. The muse apparently wants me to play with this, so I follow her muse. Come on, buddy. Here we go. XP, character level. We're 5th level characters. So there's a difficult challenge would have been 1100 times 5 is 5500. Yeah, so that was a deadly level encounter. Those 3 revenants against 5 6th level. Oh, sorry, we're 6th level now. That's right. So it would have been a medium fight. 5 of us, 5,000, somewhere between a medium and deadly fight. 5,000, 7,000. So it was a 58. What was it? A 5,400 budget. So it's just over a moderate fight. And 2 of us dropped to 0. Each of 2 people dropped to 0 during that fight, but we were able to beat them. But boy, it was a fun fucking fight. It was in this cathedral that the bard and sorcerer went up into the balcony, while the paladin, ranger, and druid went a ground floor to we didn't know there were revenants at the time, but we later found out revenants. And grab this, drop that down. There we go. They were not. We don't know what they're revening about. They were not interested in talking to us at all. Well, you know, to be fair, that's fair. But man, it was a fun fight. I was able to use web in the rafters between the balconies and the deck. It was happened to be a 15-foot gap between the balconies. One of the revenants had the smart idea of taking stairways up to the 2nd floor to confront us directly, while the other 2 revenants stayed at the ground floor to fight the marshals on the ground. Well, yeah, and the druid. So the bard jumped to a chandelier to try to keep away from the melee attacks of the revenant. And while the revenant was going up one spiral staircase on one side of the cathedral to get up to the 2nd floor, I threw a web down into the gap to catch the 2 revenants that were on the ground, and then I took the spiral stairway down the other side of the balcony. So this revenant was chasing me around. I would use it. You know, we were both using dash actions. So, but occasionally I could get a little bit of action economy ahead of the revenant. So I'd cast a spell and then move. I'd use a bonus action like to throw a cantrip and then be able to do a double move. So I would go down to the ground level from the balcony. The revenant would fuck around with the bard on the chandelier. I'd toss a couple more spells. The bard would cost a couple more spells. The revenant would then try to chase me downstairs, at which point I would go back upstairs to the top and drop spells on top and down below. At one point, the revenant cut the chain to the chandelier that the bard was on, which caused it to drop, but he landed on the web, so he didn't take any damage. And at that point, I dropped concentration on the web spell so that I could throw up a spiritual hammer to add DPR to the ground troops. It was fun. It was a really fun battle because it was so mobile, and we were just doing this goofy Scooby-Doo-ish sort of chase with this one, because that revenant was like, it was dealing 30 damage a pop. We couldn't take more than a couple of hits of that, but we had to dump a lot of mana into healing and guiding bolts. Lots of both of those. So I pumped through a ton of meta magic, doing Sorry, brain is locking up. What the hell was I? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, Ray of Frost. I ended up using a lot of quickened Ray of Frost cantrips because they slowed movement down. Gave us just a little bit of an edge to keep some distance on them while also lobbing guiding bolts at them. So it was a fun fight. It was a very fun fight. At one point, I had to drag the ranger off the front line. Like while I was down on the ground floor, I ran by, grabbed the ranger, and dragged him behind the front line between the paladin and the druid, and then dropped a quickened heal on him, and then ran for the stairs to go back upstairs. It was silly. It was fun. Did I not do? Yeah, there you are. Thank you. I was gonna say, where's your flesh? There's her flesh. Yeah, it was fun. I love playing 5e. It's tactical enough that there's meaningful decision making, but it's not so intense in details that it becomes unwieldy. I mean, to me, it's within my tolerance of technical detail for an RPG. As a tactical game, it feels right to me. Having said that, I'll probably be participating in a new Shadow Dark live stream session with AJ Pickett, How to RPG, and Wally DM, probably in the next couple weeks. And we'll dive into another like 4th level dungeon probably. Looking forward to that. I enjoy Shadow Dark. Its praise is well earned. It has a very BX feel to it, but also mechanically very similar to 5e. I would say if Mike Merles had been allowed to create the 5e game engine the way that he said that he wanted to make it, with different gears of complexity, simple, moderate, and highly complicated, I think we probably, in the simple gear setting, we probably would have seen something very akin to Shadow Dark. Second gear would have been what we currently have, and then third gear would have been more mechanically and tactically complex, probably something akin to what we're seeing with martial powers, like with all marshals having access to maneuvers for bonus actions or as alternate attack actions, and a high degree of fidelity in action economy during the combat pillar. But alas, that isn't how things worked out. I reckon marketing didn't want to make the game more complicated to understand, and having different versions of the game would further shatter the base. Like if you're making an adventure, what are you supposed to do? Like write the adventure 3 times in the different gears, or do you default to the most complicated gear? And then say, if you're using a lighter gear, skip these portions, or like do you shade things, like do you color things differently, like different text color for different gears? It's mechanically complicated. I do not begrudge Wizards for not pursuing that direction, but it's to me it's admirable. I liked the idea. I'm gonna merge these two together. So having said all that, I enjoy playing Shadow Dark because it really does feel like that low fidelity light gear of that I enjoy about BX. But I'm not ready. I could see myself making stuff for Shadow Dark eventually. And I know that's where the hype train is at right now. The algorithms tell me that talking about something other than D&D is what is darling right now. But I'm not done with what I'm doing in 5e. I love the IPs. I can't let them go. All right, so the coats are good. We're gonna leave them like that for now, and we're gonna get back into the flesh. Hair. Skin. But I can feel it. I can feel, by the time I actually get to Shadow Dark, there's going to be a ton of stuff already done for Shadow Dark. I am aware that I am missing, again, I'm missing the hype train very intentionally. It's my destiny is to be late to the scene. Oh, God. This guy looks so painfully innocent. Ryu, you were born to die. He gets hunted by undead at one point in the adventure. Murdered, horribly killed by undead. Nom nom. Nom 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 nom. He looks like you couldn't survive an apocalypse. So I think it's appropriate. I keep shitting on this dude, but I don't know why. I don't know why I feel like I have to crap on Rio so hard. But I do. He earned it somehow. Add some shadow in here. There you go, buddy. Subtle. Not a lot to it. Highlights. Good job, buddy. I'll drop all that back in there like that. Conceal that. Get back into Seda. Flesh, divide. Let's go to hair. And skin. So we'll do the skin first. I don't think that's the right color. Let's try that again. There. There we go. Very simple. Shadow and highlights. Oh yeah, we need to do highlights for the skin. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's do our shadow here for the hair. here like that. There we go. We do need highlights on the skin. There's some. Boop. Gotcha. Booped your nose. Good. Flesh, color, Seda, done. Get out of here, Chad. There we go. Elmon. Elmon shade, and then highlights. This one's easy. Like that. Okay, your face is really distracting. I feel like you're watching me. Stop it. Thank you. It's got this crazy bluishness to it. I wanna break that down a little bit there. There we go. Hair. Skin. Thank you, Timely Timer, for keeping on time with me. It is 7:30. I've got 20 minutes left, so we'll definitely finish up the... Boy, you got a glossy face. Nope, that's a symbol. There, interesting highlight. Subtle but warranted. There we go. Shadow here in the pocket. I feel like this can be darker. This guy looks like bad news. He looks pissed off, man. I like that. Such a great look. I love this guy. He looks so cool. I think this one. I think that's my favorite expression. I love this dude. He's great. All right, let's get that out of the way. Drop that in there. Oh my dude, you're looking great. Last on deck. Hair. Skin. Let's do skin first since we're here. Ah, milk toast. What is going on, my milky muppet? This guy has a kind of Adam Driver look to him. I like that. I think it's fun. And we'll blend the line art into the color to help ground everything together a little bit better. Looking good, my dude. Then let's put some highlights over that. Nice. This looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. Now let's grab that. And that. Drop our highlights in here. Or shadows, rather. Drop our shadows in here. And then overlay that with the highlights. There you go. Doesn't take a lot. It's very subtle. Perfect. These are very close. So let's see. Where are we at? Okay. We still have 15 minutes. So next, let's take these, duplicate those layers, and let's merge them down. So now we have a single layer that we can cut through. Grab our guitar pick for our smudge brush. We're going to ramp up the push on that to like around 80%. And we got our eraser here. So now we're just going to start sculpting stuff. And after we get done blending things together, then we'll figure out what's going on with these objects that they're fucking around with. Like, I think this guy's just messing around with a stopper. And we can use color overlay here to work into the line art. There you go. Just want to blend this all together. Probably spend 15 minutes or so on each of these. I'm gonna grab one of these dark colors here. We're starting to just trust where we're at with the illustration. Even though I don't see the color, I can tell what's going on with the lighting effects. And I trust the color palette decisions that we've made based on the illustrations. That's what I've learned to do. So we do clean up on the line art by either smudging it into the overall composition or by just simply erasing it, depending on what feels right based on the overall form. You can see here that I'm just borrowing colors and splashing them in to smooth things out. There, like that. See, real easy. Real easy to do. That in there. See? Easy peasy. And we'll straighten out that edge, just smudge it in a little bit. No. Here. Drop the strength of the smudge so I can blend in easier. Just get some little fabric folds in here, just little detailed bits that we can just pepper in. I don't have to murder myself on the details, just got to work them into the canvas. A little bit of a torso here. It feels pretty good. Get some grit on you there, buddy. You've been in the muck. Ooh, I don't have shadow on his pants. There we go. More shadow, sir. Thank you. Blending in. This piece is going to get, for the, it's probably going to get cropped to about there for the, like this is the token for this guy milling around inside of the laboratory facilities. But in the actual illustration where we have him listed, you can see here, see, he gets clipped off pretty shallow so they can fit inside that space. But otherwise, this whole section is done there and then here. And I still need to add a little block of text here. So we'll do that as a celebration to finishing the illustrations. But these are the 3 pages dedicated to the Ada requisitions. I like how this turned out. Back to it. Not bad. Since the pixel resolution is so low on these tokens, I'm cautious when working with the face and the hair because they're very delicate and the pixel placement infers a lot at this scale. That smudging's doing nothing for me right here, so I'm just gonna back that down instead. Let's do it by pixel. There you go, buddy. So I think Lewis is resolved, so we're gonna push him up into the graduates folder. These guys all seem to be standing together pretty well. So we got what, 3 of these left? Muse says I'm done. I've got 2 minutes left on my clock, and then I'm transitioning into going to my day job. So I'm gonna go to my day job. Something in my heart is telling me that I might have a complication with streaming today. So if I'm around, just like and subscribe, and check out my media channels, X, Twitter, and Sky to keep track of what's going on. I imagine I'll be on this afternoon, but something is crawling around inside the back of my head that says that I might not. If I do, it's typically around 2:30 in the afternoon, which is going to be 6.5 hours from now here in Seattle, -8 UTC across the globe. And I reckon what will probably happen is I may get this finished tonight. I got some family stuff going on, so I don't know how much time I'm going to have off screen. But if I happen to be working on this tomorrow, we'll probably get it finished tomorrow, and then start looking at the next block. If I happen to be able to get this completed tonight, we will do so, and then move into the next plot hook, which should be the Church of the Silver Flame, I think, is next. So we'll be working on that. And I don't necessarily know what it is that we're going to do, but we're going to do it. So if you thought this stuff was cool, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. We stream 9 times per week, Monday through Friday in the morning like this. We do artwork. Tuesday and Friday lunch like today. Monday and Thursday nights like last night. We generally do game design. And it's always changing what it is that we're working on, just to keep some variety going. But we may end up just doing more artwork in the evenings. I don't know. I don't know what's next. So stay tuned. We'll figure it all out together. And thanks a lot for checking this stuff out. Appreciate you. Laters.